So as I said, today's topic is about creating your online course. And this will be a really great session for those of you who've already created your signature systems. I'm going to show you how to take that signature system and turn it into an online course. And for those of you who haven't created a signature system, I'm going to show you why you totally should, because once you have created your own signature system with your 4 visual models, then it's really, really easy to repurpose those and leverage them and monetize them. And one of the ways to do that is through your online course. So I am going to go and play with the slides over in Zoom as well now. Okay, so the Zoom link, yes, sorry, Leah. So hopefully someone from the team can actually help out here, but I'll see. Just a second, sorry. There's normally someone here with me, Leah, to help out, but I'm on my own. So I'm just going to, as quickly as I can, try and grab you that link. Hey, Victoria, how you going? All right, come on, get me that link. All right. Next sign of, all right. Okay, that link is coming. It's making riveting watching, I'm sure, everyone, but the limits of technology. Okay, I'm going to put in the link for you, Leah, for you to get that Zoom stuff now. There you go. Okay, great. So you should be able to join with it now. Okay, great. So here's, I'll throw a question out to you. In terms of creating online courses, like, why do you want to create an online course? So let's start with why. It's always a great question to start with. I would love to hear from you. Why do you actually want to create your online course? Why is this important for you personally and in your business as well? So I would love to know your thoughts, your questions, your reasons behind why you'd like to create an online course. So Amy, Leah, Victoria, why do you think online courses are great? Di as well. Either put it in the comments or chats, or if you are watching in Zoom as well, feel free to ask your question too. So yes, I'd love to know why you want to create an online course. So while I'm waiting for those comments to come in and those questions and those reasons to come in, I'll sort of discuss with you kind of the main reasons that people talk to me about. And, you know, actually, I'll share my reasoning, because I've recently transitioned my business. So I was running 4 national tours a year in my business. Yes, great. So Amy, I can see you're looking for the Zoom link. So if you just click on that link that's just posted in the comments now, shareyourpassion.com.au/B3 for B cubed. Awesome, you got it. Great. Okay, so yeah, so I've recently transitioned from running 4 national tours a year to doing a lot more of the online stuff. So I was, the business model kind of looked earlier like the 4 national tours, and each national tour, you know, I'd be in multiple cities around Australia, and I'd run half-day workshops and do speaking gigs in all the cities that I went to visit. And that was great as a funnel. The half-day workshop then sold into my main Authority Accelerator program, which was, you know, it worked. It was excellent. It generated income. It was a fabulous model. It was a lot of fun. And, you know, I'm really, really grateful for that experience. And it built a lot of social proof and momentum in the business, and a lot of, you know, the community and network as well. So there was so much to love about that model. Part of the challenge for that, though, for me was that it was 4 national tours a year I found quite exhausting. And I didn't feel like it was something that was sustainable for me with a young family. So I've got 2 kids that are in primary school, hubby's a high school teacher, and I just wanted to spend more quality family time together with the 4 of us, and not be kind of, you know, spending 4 months a year basically away from home. It was just a little bit too much for me at this stage in my life, and maybe another time in my life it'll be different. So I made the decision after the May National Tour, when I was pretty much just wasted and exhausted, to transition to more online offerings. And so my Authority Accelerator program, which was my main program, and it's my, you know, it's the bee's knees. Like, I totally love that program. But I wanted to start offering an online version so that people who couldn't travel to Melbourne, or, you know, I've got I've got a following, all around the world now, that other people who can't come to Melbourne for 2 days have another option. And that's where the online course came out for me. But before I was running this stuff around visual models and signature systems, I was actually running, the way that I was serving my clients was actually teaching them how to run online courses. That's what I did. So I haven't got it here. But my first book, Share Your Passion, is the 7-stage process to basically creating courses and programs, creating leverage products. So that's the topic of my first book. So it's something that I know about. And so for me, it was very, very easy for me to say, okay, if I want to now transition from running live face-to-face events to going back into doing more online stuff, how do I do that? And it was a very quick and easy thing for me to do. So pretty much what I did was I freaked my team out, because at first I said, okay, let's give ourselves 3 months to create this online program. And so we'd, mapped out all the project tasks in Asana, and everything was getting in there, and there was a reasonable time frame for things to get done. And then I just had a bit of a Renee moment one day, and I'm sure as entrepreneurs you guys will resonate with this. I had this moment where I think it was it might have been Monday. I think it was Monday. We have weekly team meetings on Mondays at 11 in the Zoom room. And I think on the Monday at 11, I just said to the team, you know what, I'm going to go live with my online course on Wednesday. I think I had a speaking gig or something. There was something there that I wanted the course to be live for, so that I could promote it at whatever it was that I was going to be at. And I just said, I'm going to have it live by this date. And that's all good and well for me, but my team thought they had 3 months to do all the tasks involved. And so it actually meant that I had to take responsibility, because it's not fair for me to dump that on my team. So I basically, within 48 hours, created the online course and had it live on Thinkific myself. So it was probably a bit of a crazy thing to do, but that's kind of the way that I work. My version of moderation is to swing wildly from one extreme to the other, and I'm like full steam ahead, going crazy, working till 3 o'clock in the morning, or just chilling out, getting massages and sitting in cafes, or binging on Netflix, or reading a book. There's the 2 versions of Renee. So I just went into steam train mode, and I, got it done, stayed up late for 2 nights, and made sure that the course was live. I set a deadline and I made it happen. So I'm going to share with you now how to actually, how you can do that too. So I'm still kind of hoping that someone's going to share why they want to create an online course. If you do, so feel free to send it in the chats, and I'll let Stevie kind of monitor that for me while I just continue on with presenting the content. So, all right. So let's look at the first part in creating a successful online course is having a really clear structure. Now, I know this, the reason I know this is really important is because I've experienced the opposite of this as a client, as a participant in courses, where there wasn't a clear structure, where I've paid for something I was really excited about, I've signed up to work with someone, and I've jumped in, and then I get in there and it's a mess. I feel overwhelmed and stressed. Now, you've got to remember that for us in a service-based business, our clients are coming to us to solve a problem. They have a problem, they want a solution and an answer, right? Now, if they have a problem and a challenge and they're willing to spend money on it, chances are they're experiencing pain, right? They're probably overwhelmed and feeling really crap about something. The last thing they need when they enter your online course is to feel more overwhelmed and freak out, right? So part of you delivering a quality service for your clients is to make sure that when they arrive into whatever your online course is, that it is so clear, so simple, that they feel really safe and held and like everything's going to be okay. So having this clear structure is very, very important to making sure that your clients feel secure, nurtured, certain they know exactly how to get from where they are in pain to getting the result. Okay, so it's really important. Yes, Stevie.
Jocelyn shares her reasons for wanting to create a course. She said, pretty much the same reason as you, Renee. I want to have a bit more freedom from set dates and venues.
Yeah, nice. Yep, Jocelyn, exactly. Beautiful. All right. So this clear structure, and I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Have you ever experienced the opposite of a clear structure when you've signed up for a course or program? And how does that feel? Because I think one of the most important ways to know when something is an important key factor in success is to know the experience of the opposite, right? And we know the experience of a non-clear structure or like no structure at all in a course or program is for me, it's horrible. My auditory digital brain does not cope, and I go into fix-it mode and want to just go and create a signature system for this poor person who's made a mess. And so usually I will either get a refund, or if I've only spent a little bit of money, I'll just go forget it and I won't even bother participating in the course. Or or I'll actually go back to them and go, can I help you fix this? Because it's a mess. So I am a little bit of a nightmare client in that way, but it comes from a place of caring, because I want to make sure that, you know, if you're a change maker, if you can make a difference in this world, I want to make sure that you're creating a course or a program that your clients will actually complete to get the result. You can only make the change. They can only get that result if they complete the process. So we've got to make sure that we give them every possible chance of doing that. So having the clear structure. So let's look at what a clear structure looks like. So if you're in the Zoom room, you'll be able to see this on the screen as well. So what I am assuming for this, for those of you who've already created a signature system, woohoo, awesome. The bulk of your course will be based on your educate model, right? So if you haven't created your signature system, please, I highly recommend it. Do it, because like writing your book, creating an online course, all these things that we're talking about in terms of monetizing your intellectual property, monetizing what's in between your ears, having that signature system is so much easier once you've got it. So the clear structure, coming back to that, based on the educate model. So in the beginning, in the welcome section of your course, that first part, you're going to go through your pitch script. You're going to remind people why they've signed up. So you can just do like a really short version of that in your welcome people into the course. So and for each week or module in your course as well. And so when I'm going to talk about modules instead of weeks or months or whatever, because I think that's probably the more generic way of structuring it, is to look at modules. And then for you can translate that and decide whether each module is going to be delivered weekly, fortnightly, monthly, etc. That's, you know, you're going to know from your ideal client avatar and how they like to work, and doing all your proper market research. Don't guess this stuff, right? Ask them how they want it, how frequently they want to connect with you, and how they want this delivered. For each module, then, you know, you can stretch it out, or, you know, bring it back in depending on how much time you're spending with your clients. But I would say, you know, for me, I'm not really into long-term commitments, and I kind of find that 6 to 9-ish weeks, maybe 12 weeks, you can get people to sign up for, unless they really, really know, like, and trust you, and you've got a whole lot of love and rapport built up, and you've really got them in. You might be able to get them into longer, but generally selling those shorter duration courses is going to be a lot easier. So looking at the modules again, so module 0, if you like, is the welcome. That's kind of, you know, a little welcome video, and, you know, maybe you've got your client agreement to sign, all that sort of stuff, and then a video that recaps your pitch script, which is from your signature system, to make sure you do that. Now, going into each of the modules after this, for each module, I want you to think about it's a 3-part structure. There's a teach, do, and support. So the teach will often be done in a video. The do, there'll be some sort of worksheet, and the support will be, you know, maybe in a live Zoom session, or in a Facebook group, or, you know, however it is that you want to deliver it. I highly recommend that you don't do unsupported courses. The 100% DIY courses, I think, well, great if you're happy to take people's money and run. But if you want your clients to actually get the result, then having the support is essential to making sure that your clients follow through, get the result, you know, having that accountability, because they're not paying you for they're not paying for information, they're paying you for implementation. And that support, that accountability, and making sure that they follow through, and having that opportunity to actually connect with you, show you what they did, get the feedback, for you to look at their stuff. That is the sort of thing that makes your program of more value, because we live in the age of Google, right? Anything that you could potentially be presenting in your content, they can Google and find out that stuff, right? Anything that I teach, you know, I've got free videos out there all over the place. Like, you can find my stuff everywhere, right? That's not what my client's paying for. My clients are paying for the hand holding, the step-by-step, you know, guidance, being there to support them and answer questions when they get stuck, so that they move through those stuck experiences really, really quickly, and get straight through into what they actually need and get the result that they came for. So each module, then, I want you to think about what are you going to teach? What are they going to do? What activity, what exercise, and what support are you providing? So let's look at, so for example, so step 1 in your educate model, well, each step in your educate model actually, they may not actually have an equal number of pieces of content or works or exercises and things to be done. So for example, step 1, for those of you watching in the Zoom room, you can see in the table, I've got the step 1's actually broken up into 3 bits, because let's just imagine for this example that step 1 is actually really, really chunky. There's actually a lot in that step 1. So we're going to need 3 weeks. Let's say we're going by weeks. We're going to need 3 weeks to work on step 1 because it's a really big piece of the process. So you might say in week 1, we're going to teach, I don't know, beliefs, right? They're going to do a belief solicitation exercise, and then the support is going to be they come into the Zoom room and everyone shares what came up for them in the exercise, right? And then you give support as the facilitator, right? That could be week 1. Then week 2 would be we're going to do values, right? And so you're going to teach a video on values. They're going to do an exercise, so they might do a value solicitation, and then they're going to have the support from you, which could be, again, back in the Zoom room, right? So, and that also just might all be part of, your first step 1 in your educate model. So teach, do, support. I want you to think of that as the way to kind of get each little piece of the puzzle presented and facilitated in the process. For the teach part, the first time or the first and maybe even second time, you may want to deliver that content live as much as possible. So if you can deliver that content the first couple of times as the pilot in a Zoom room where you can see people's faces, this is really important, because then you can see what lands and what doesn't. If you record your online course the first time and stick it all, upload it all onto an online platform and people start signing up and giving you feedback, they're going to give you very generalized feedback like, yeah, it was great, I loved it, blah, blah, blah. Then they're not going to give you specific micro feedback on each thing that you presented. Whereas if you're presenting live, whether it's in front of a live room or live in a Zoom room, you can actually get the feedback. So as I say each sentence, I can watch confused faces, nodding heads, right? That's giving me important feedback to know, is this landing? Is this making sense? Or do I need to tweak this a little bit and make it clearer for the audience next time I run it? So super, super important to, the first couple of times that you run it, to make sure that you're presenting it in a way that makes sense, right? So yes, Stevie.
Sorry, Amy Revell says, great advice. We did it live the first 2 times and it changed so much. The videoed one became more refined. Now we have models. We're going to do it again live and then video.
Awesome. That's awesome, Amy. Yeah, great. And I experienced that as well. And I know, even if you've been running your content live in a workshop environment, that's good, because you've hopefully already got some feedback as well from the nodding faces or the confused faces. So just whatever format, whether if you're transitioning from running half-day workshops into online like me, I didn't feel like I needed to really test my content again because I'd run it so many times. I knew it inside out, back to front, and I knew that it made sense. So I didn't feel like I needed to practice it before it went live online. But yeah, absolutely. Like Amy's saying, run it a couple of times, delivering the content live. And then when you go to actually presenting the content in video format, we don't want an hour video, right? I want you to think about this as critical path. Your clients, again, coming back to where they're feeling, what they're experiencing, if they are overwhelmed, they're freaking out, they do not want to find 50 hours to watch your 51-hour videos. Like, nobody has that time in their back pocket, right? So say it as clearly and succinctly as you possibly can to get the message across. Right. So I would say, each video in my online course, like some of them are 45 seconds, right? And some of them will be sort of 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. And some of them, there might be 1 or 2 that's at the 10-minute mark, right? But generally I say it as clearly and succinctly as I can. And then that's the end of the video, so that each micro step is broken down. So it's like, watch this video, do this exercise, come and get support online. Watch this video, do this exercise, come and get support. Do you know what I mean? So it's very structured and broken down into micro steps. Now, in terms of what do you include and what do you exclude, I would say that if it's not on the critical path, if it's not essential to the outcome and the result that people are paying you for, then I would be ditching it, right? You want to keep it to, people are going to be, don't feel like you have to throw in the steak knives to make it valuable, right? We're past that in the kind of purchasing decision making, right? I don't throw in a billion bonuses with because I actually see, if I see someone's selling me an online course and then like, oh, and plus you get this, plus you get this, plus you get this, plus I'm like, you're sounding desperate to me now, right? And plus, when you give me all these extra things, I don't need them because I don't have time to digest them all. I don't want to be sitting in front of my computer for 50 hours, right? If I can get the result that I want in 30 minutes, I'd probably pay more for that than getting the result in 50 hours, right? So don't feel like you need to add more content into your course to make it more valuable, right? Your clients are going to love you for making it really easy, right? Okay, so any questions on the structure, please pop them in the chat or unmute yourselves. I'm happy to have you guys all talking out and sharing, but I'll move on to the next thing. So in terms of getting it done as well, I'd say having a deadline is super important. So me making the commitment to my team, but also there was, as I said, there was a reason. I can't remember, Steve, if you remember, please tell me because my brain is mush. But there was a deadline that we had in terms of me saying, okay, that online course is going to be delivered by this day. Hey, Deb. It's going to be delivered by, Wednesday night. It was going to be live on Thinkific so that we could actually make sure that I could promote it out, whatever it was, right? So
just before we move on, Jocelyn has a question relating to the last section. She wants to know, it was watch this, do this, and then what was the third thing?
Support. Yeah. So Jocelyn, it's kind of a variation on if we're running a live workshop, like a half-day workshop in the room. I would generally do like teach, do, so they'll do an exercise and then share. So often I'll get people to be like teach, do, share is my structure in a live workshop. And you could go a similar thing as well. So it could be support/share. So the sharing, often will be, if we're all in a room together, is I get people into pairs and get them to share with their partners and then switch, share with their partner, and then come back to the room and I'll get a couple of shares with the whole room. So that's kind of my general structure of teach something, get them to do something and then share. So translating that into the online, again, it's teach and then do. And then instead of the share, then, there can be a share, and we do actually do that in the Game Changer course because everyone shares their signature system. They do a presentation. So that does actually happen. But you can either get each client in the program to share what they've done in your Zoom session, but it's just giving them some support and feedback for that step that they've just completed to make sure that they feel like they've done the right thing, and they just get your expertise and feedback on how they've gone and, encouragement, all that stuff. Hope that helps. Great. Thank you for the question. Keep them coming. Okay. So having the deadline commitment, I think, is really important to making sure we get it done because, again, creating an online course can fit into that important but not urgent category of projects that we have in our businesses. So to make it come into the urgent, we need to give it a deadline and we need to, make some sort of commitment that's going to mean we follow through. And that, generally means making it an external commitment. So, yeah, as I said, whatever it was that I was going to go speaking gig or whatever it was that I was going to be promoting the online course for, that's what I needed to have it done in time for. So I had that commitment in place so that I knew I had basically 48 hours to create an online course. Crazy. And then you got to take action, right? And we can overthink this. We really can overthink the creation of your online course. But if you've already created your signature system, seriously, all you need to do is break down each of those steps in your educate model, talk about it, decide what exercise you're doing, and then, work out what support, questions you're going to ask, for people to share and whatever in the facilitated session.
So Leah has a question.
Yes, Leah.
Leah would like to know, will online courses work with corporate teams, do you think?
I think anything's possible, Leah. I can't speak from experience in doing this myself, but I believe that more and more corporate, there's a lot more trend towards flexible working and people working away from home and remote working and that sort of stuff. So I think that because of that trend, people are more, they're used to and more in the habit of, the culture is more that they're used to kind of working remotely. And so therefore I think that would play out. Also people who've, completed university education in the last decade-ish have probably all done part of it online as well. So I think that your audience is ready for it. And I'd really love to hear, Leah, I would, again, go back to do your market research and ask them. Just ask them. I mean, we can mind read till the cows come home, but the best way to get the real answer to that question is ask your ideal client. Just say to them, would you want to do an online course? If so, how many weeks, what duration would make sense to you? What would you want to achieve in that course? Et cetera, et cetera. Like, ask them the questions. Like, don't try and mind read, because it'll take you so much longer in testing and tweaking if you're trying to just guess. But you just go ahead and ask. People aren't going to bite your face off. Or maybe they will, but that'll be fun too. Just kidding. All right. So, so action. And then I just also wanted to share with you today as well. So those of you in the Zoom room, I'm just going to flash up some of the feedback as well I've got from my online course, because there's the creation of the online course, doing it super fast. Like, yes, I created it in 48 hours, but how did I do it super fast? Because I have a signature system, and also from that structure that I mapped out. So essentially I listed in that table that I showed on the screen for each step what was going to be in the video, what was going to be in the worksheet, and then I didn't really need to do support for each specific thing, because we've got one main thing, except for we've got Facebook group pretty much in that support column until they actually do the pitch presentation. So, but I map it out first in that table structure that you've seen in the Zoom room, and then I just go in and record each video and create each worksheet. And then
Leah,
yes, Leah.
So Leah would like to know, what are they paying for the online course?
So my Game Changer online course is $1,100 upfront, including GST, and I also have a payment plan available, which is $220 per month times 6 months. And the cool thing, so I guess the next question coming from that is, what platform do I use? Because I think that's, I know that's the next burning question. It's like, all the technology. And I want you to not even worry about the technology until you've actually created your signature system and your content. But I use Thinkific. I love Thinkific. I find it really, really easy to use from the business owner perspective, from the facilitator perspective, and from the client perspective. Clients tell me it's very, very easy to follow and see exactly what to do. Like, it's a really, really simple user experience. And I know some of you have done my online course as well, so feel free to kind of comment on that and tell me if you've experienced otherwise. But I've experienced as a client and as a facilitator, and I find that Thinkific is a great program, a great platform for your online courses and programs.
And follow-up question from Leah: how many weeks long is it?
So the Game Changer online course. So for me, and this is interesting because mine is kind of like it's mostly self-paced, except for the fact that you've got a presentation session built in. So I pretty much have mine. It's kind of different, actually. It's not like, a 6-week course or a this many month course or anything like that. Essentially, when someone signs up for my Game Changer program, I say it's 7.5 hours of work before you come and do your Zoom presentation. So because my course is all structured around how do you create a signature system, the outcome of it is really that you walk away with your 4 models extracted and created. So that happens through the videos and worksheets, which are all self-paced. And so you could smash it all out in one day, right, to be ready for your Zoom session, or you could drip feed it to yourself over, however long you like to work. And that's another benefit of having the videos broken down into micro videos. If you've just got 30 minutes, you can jump in, do a couple of videos and worksheets, and then go away and then come back when you've got some more time. So it allows people to break things down into micro tasks as well, and just drip feed as they've got time. So that's another great benefit of having those shorter length videos instead of the kind of long 60-minute type things. So
Amy says that Thinkific is great, both as a user and as a presenter,
brilliant.
and that she did Renee's Game Changer in one day with her business partner, and it took them about 8 hours, and then they did the Zoom presentation after that. So
yeah, awesome, great. So and I quite like the flexibility of people being able to do it like that, you know, smash it all out in one day. Like, that's the way I work. So, you know, that's I just steam train on, toot, bam, finish it, and then go. But other people I know have sort of taken a bit longer to work through it, and just spread it out over time. So yeah, in terms of the length of my course, it's 8 hours, and it's just however you want to feed that out. And then, but also included in that is a 2-hour Zoom session. So when someone signs up, this is also part of the accountability. We want to make sure that people actually finish your course when they sign up, right? So there's a couple of things that I build into my course to make that happen. And one of them is when someone enrolls in my Game Changer program, they must, and my team will chase you, you must actually book in your presentation session. So what that means is a presentation session is you're coming into the Zoom room and you are presenting your signature system to Stevie and to me and to 3 other clients, you all using the pitch script that I teach, presenting your models, doing a presentation using those models so that you actually get practice doing it and get feedback to make sure that we've eliminated any errors and made sure that it makes sense, that it's clear, succinct, etc., etc. So that presentation session is absolutely critical to making sure that you have a quality signature system. So you know, for me, and I think that really is the most value in the whole course, because people can extract their models and do all that stuff. You know, a lot of people were doing it with the book, and that's one of the reasons I created the course as well, is because if someone goes and creates their visual models from the book, that's fantastic. I want people to do that. But if they're not getting feedback on their models, they could be out there with shit and telling the world that they learned how to do this from Renee Hasseldine, and that's going to be really bad for my reputation. So I really wanted to make sure that anyone who is learning my system and learning my way of creating visual models, actually everyone has quality models. And so that's, you know, there's this really strong burning desire for me to make sure that people were creating quality and something that they could actually monetize and would be great for their reputation and credibility and authority, not detrimental and, you know, do the opposite. So there was like a really big driver for me in terms of making sure people had quality visual models out there. And the other driver was that a lot of people, you know, can't afford the $11,000 a day rate to work with me. So that gave people an affordable option to work with me within their capacity, you know, wherever they're at. So, and then it eliminated the travel option as well. So there's kind of lots of different reasons why the online course is kind of really, it's filled a gap for my audience since I've started offering it, and it's great because a lot of people who weren't ready for Authority Accelerator are ready for this. So, you know, it actually provides an affordable option for a bunch of people who you know didn't have the budget for $11,000 a day. Awesome. Any more questions? I'm just looking that I've gone over time as well. So what I might do is say goodbye to the people on Facebook Live. Thank you guys for joining. And then the Zoom people, I can still keep asking questions. Beautiful. All right. So where are we up to in Zoom? So if you are watching in Zoom, so I'll just keep going on in terms of talking about my signature system as well. It's not my signature system, sorry, my online course that I've created, so that you can kind of get a bit more of a feel as well, because I think this helps in terms of the structure, but also clearly if you want to create a signature system, this is the way to do it. So my online course, as we talked about earlier in terms of the pricing, $1,100 up front, $220 per month for 6 months. And that's what I was going to say as well. Thinkific is great at being able to manage your payment plans and stuff like that. So whether you're using, we've got it plugged into Stripe. And so it just means that Thinkific takes care of making sure that people get charged on their credit cards each month if they're on a payment plan. And then it just comes through Stripe, which then, you know, Stripe then just puts the money in your bank account. So I find that a really smooth and easy process. I do have someone on my team also going and checking if payments have failed each couple of days to make sure that if that you know, credit card failure happens. We know that. It can be a bit of a pain in the butt. But I find that it's compared to what we were running. So for Authority Accelerator, for example, we were processing payment plans on WooCommerce subscriptions. And I found that really, really difficult to manage failed payments. So we are loving that Thinkific is a lot easier to work with when it comes to the failed payment plan stuff.
Just a clarification, Renee, I think you said it was $1,100 up front and $220 per month for 6 months, but it's actually $1,100 once off. Or
yes, thank you. Yeah, thanks for clarifying that. Yeah, it's either you pay $1,100 up front, or there's a payment plan option, which is $220 per month times 6. Thank you, Stevie, for clarifying my bad communication. All right, awesome. And then the presentation dates as well. So someone, as I said, as soon as you register, then you just lock in your presentation dates as well. So any questions on that? Creating online courses, who's got questions? Or, you know, what we might do is, why don't we go around the room and share what your biggest takeaways or ahas were from today's session. So if you want to unmute yourselves, turn your videos on as well. Where are your faces? It's just me and Stevie hanging out in here. Show me your beautiful faces. Anyone? All right, I'm just going to ask. Oh, Leah's gone. Okay. Jocelyn, tell me, what was your biggest takeaway today? What did you get out of it? Then I'm going to go to you, Amy, Di, Dennis, Melissa. Love to hear from you. What did you?
Hi, Renee.
Hey, Jocelyn, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. You talk too fast.
Sorry. I've got so much I wanted to say.
Actually, no, that's wrong. I just think slower than you talk. So, no, my biggest takeaway was basically to do the, to get the model done first and then go back and do the modules.
Yeah. And it just works so much easier that way, because once the signature system's created, that becomes the foundation for all the other stuff. So it's really easy, whether you're going to do online course, book, workshops, retreats, whatever it is, all gets based then on the signature system. It's really easy to repurpose it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I can, just from you talking, I can see that in the notes that I made as well. So I guess my biggest takeaway is do the signature thing, which is really good news for you, I guess.
It is really good news for me. Great.
Yeah, successful day.
Hashtag winning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'll go back and look at the
great. I think Stevie's put the link in the chat as well, if you haven't.
Yeah, no, she has. So I'll go back and have a look at that, and then the budget.
Yeah.
So,
brilliant.
Yes, it's fortunately it's a new financial year, because I don't think the ATO would like it if I put any more training through this year.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, but yes, definitely. Thank you very much for this. I'm looking at, as you know, I've been doing the retreats, etc. Working on doing, the meetup. So this to me makes a lot more sense, doing it on an online workshop, and then building up my. Most of the people that came to my last retreat, I'd never heard of them, and they came from all around the country. So to me, it's not about having, people that know me are probably not likely to come on retreat with me. They rather come on holiday. I don't know that they want to come on a retreat. So I think that for me, doing this first, it also gives me a lot more clarity on what I'm teaching as well. Yeah. And then just teach one module. And then they've got to come back for the others. Yeah. So, and then we can just travel around the world. So I'll just have this group of people that like to go out with me.
I love it. Jocelyn's travelling retreat posse.
I've got lots of destinations all sorted. So, you can do your, beliefs in Bali, and then maybe you could do your values. I was thinking Venezuela doesn't work. Peru would be much nicer.
I love it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. Amy, I want to jump over to you. What did you get out of today?
Yeah, it's really just perfect, Renee. There was a couple of things that I took away. One was the when you've got the teach do support.
Yes.
We do the same as you in terms of having, like, we do weekly live calls during a live round, but we also have non-live rounds.
Yep.
And during that time, we have the Facebook group, like we've got a private Facebook group. Do you reckon that that's enough support in a non-live round?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? Let's just give you guys bonus content while we're here. I'm going to do a whiteboard for you, because essentially you have, so once you create your signature system as well, your whole product funnel becomes based on it. So let's say, for example, you create all your videos and worksheets, right?
Yeah.
Based on your signature system, then you can have like you could have a DIY program up here, which might be like $100, right?
Yep.
I'm just going to throw numbers, just ignore me.
Yeah.
But just say it's like your DIY course with no support, zero support is $100. Then you might say your group, the group course is, $1,000, right? And that might include Zoom room group sessions.
Yeah.
Exactly the same videos and worksheets, but they're actually getting support. Right, so you're repurposing same content. The only thing that's changed there is the support level.
Yep.
And then the final one might be that you do it one-on-one, and then that might be $5,000, right? And so again, it's exactly the same videos and worksheets, but the support is, instead of doing a group Zoom call, that you're doing one-on-one sessions.
So I guess my question to that is, and part of the thing that we're getting stuck up against is with the DIY, because we've been playing around with, do we make a cheaper option? So our cheapest option at the moment is $500, which I think is cheap anyway.
Absolutely.
But
ignore that.
If we, no, but I know what you mean. But if we do DIY, we have not seen for ourselves that our people actually do that. We're dealing with procrastinators, not business owners.
Yep.
So part of me and part of Kirsty, like, if we do the DIY, that's us taking their cash and running, even though we're offering the Facebook group.
Yep. Yeah.
So I think, and that maybe that's just different for every industry, and maybe our industry, we say, no, we just have, because we know that you can listen to our podcast. That's our DIY, I guess, and it's free.
Yeah. Yep.
Is the podcast, and maybe that's the difference.
Yeah. So then maybe what you just don't have that option, that DIY option. You just have your group course and your. Yeah.
Because we've been working on our funnels and rewatching some of your videos.
Yep.
And what we've created in the funnel is we've got like our VIP services. And tell me if this is totally off topic and I'm stealing you for questions, please just shut me down.
Hopefully this is valuable to the others as well. So it's all
don't worry about me.
Thanks, Jocelyn. We've got our VIP services down the bottom of our funnel.
Yeah.
The next level up is our course, our online course, which is but what we've created as maybe that next one up is some short courses. And what I think I took away from today, going back to your original question, is to use the Teach Do Share or the Teach Do support for our short courses, because we're launching one in about an hour. And as I was listening to you, I was writing the copy for it. And I went, okay, so that's like, maybe that can also be for other people. They're like, well, I've got this group course, but I've got these like mini courses that are little arms of it that can then be higher up in the funnel and be $20 or whatever they are.
Yeah. And if it's completely DIY, then I wouldn't. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, and just do it, when you're recording them, just do it in a way that you can just repurpose it and chuck it into the group course later.
Yes, we've promised them it already, because we're like, we're selling it for $17. We can give it to our high-end clients for free.
I reckon you can.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. And very timely. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Pleasure. All right, Melissa, I'd like to hear from you. Hello. Are you there? Can you? Yeah, you're on.
I'm driving.
Oh, okay. All right. I won't. That's all right. We'll hear from you another time.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I just jumped on while I was driving home. I thought but it's been really valuable, and I appreciate all the sharing. And I'm itching to ask questions. But thank you, Renee.
My pleasure. My pleasure. If you've got any questions anytime, just send us an email and we'll get back to you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Melissa.
Great.
All right. I should stop. I'm going to